Hey runners, welcome back to Streaming from Shiloh. I'm Graham, hanging out with you today. I've got a deck from my personal workshop I wanted to share with you. It's a personal evolution deck called Like a Billion Cuts because it's like 1,000 cuts Jinteki deck. It's a pretty typical PE whenever you steal or score an agenda, you do 1 net damage. So the idea is that you punish the runner for stealing your agendas, and then you punish them after they've already stolen agendas. So let me show you what I mean. First of all, we want to get a lot of ID triggers, so I've got a lot of small agendas in here. We got 3 House of Knives, 2 dedicated neural net. If you don't remember, that says first time runner makes a successful run in HQ, you play a side game. If the corp wins, the corp chooses which cards they access, which would be really great if you ran snares or something in your deck. Oh, I do. Also, it is an agenda that doubles as kind of extra HQ protection, so you can kind of think of it like another piece of ice in a way. So I've been really enjoying that. That's 5 points so far. This Jinteki deck brought to you in part from the contributions of viewers like you. Also from Obokata Protocol, because it's real good. They got to pay 4 net damage to steal it, and then they take 1 net damage from your ID afterwards. So that's pretty great. We also have 3 copies of Project Kusanagi. It's a 2 for 0, but you can over advance it to get agenda counters, and you use those counters to add net damage subroutines to your ice. Most of the time, I'm probably using this as just another shock in conjunction with my ID. But it also doubles to synergize with a lot of the other many agenda punishing cards in my deck, which I'll get to in just a second. Show of Force is a great agenda in PE. It's kind of like another Ronin that also doubles as giving you 2 points, right? Because you take 3 damage when you score it. You do 2 meat and then the 1 net from your ID. So Show of Force is proven to be really, really good. I'm really enjoying that. And then one of the cards that punishes the runner for having lots of agendas is Philotic Entanglement. Obviously a great Jinteki agenda in any deck, but in particular in this one because you can do lots of net damage when you score it. It's not uncommon for the runner to have 4 or 5 agendas in their score area. If they have 5 agendas in their score area, Philotic Entanglement does 6 damage when you score it out. But timing is a little bit tricky, right? So to help with that, this deck has 24/7 news cycle in it. So when you play this, you forfeit an agenda, and then you get to resolve a 1 scored ability in your score area. So this is a good way for you to see the Philotic early, rush it out. Maybe it's behind a Kugugo or something, right? And then later on in the game, once the runner has accrued several agendas, you can use 24/7 news cycle to score or to get a Philotic kill. Would also trigger Show of Force too if they happen to get their hand size down, or the number of cards in their hand down pretty low. So a couple ways to get a kill with that. Another card that we use to punish the runner for having lots of agendas is Stock Buyback. This guy gets pretty ridiculous pretty fast. It's really easy to get 3 agendas in the runner score area, and at that point it's a single click for 8 credits. This feels kind of like a mass communication in like a Tenon deck, where at the very beginning it's not super great, but very quickly it's kind of skyrockets out of control. And I've easily gotten, 14 credits in a single click from Stock Buyback. It's not that unreasonable. Also, these strategies with Stock Buyback and Philotic Entanglement punish runners who are using Indexing Mad Dash or Freedom Through Equality. So as a meta choice, this deck can sometimes reap some extra benefits. Lastly, we punish the runner for having agendas with Voter Intimidation. There's a lot of great targets for it. Obviously, this first one in there to take care of Film Critic, right? And Film Critic is a really strong counter to Obokata in general, but also to this ID Personal Evolution, because Film Critic gets around the forced net damage that those things create. So you've got Voter Intimidation to deal with Film Critic. Thankfully, Film Critic is on the restricted list. Another counter to personal evolution is Employee Strike, also on the restricted list. So thanks to the restricted list plus Wizard rotating out, this deck actually can survive and has some effect as a meta choice. So in terms of other cards that we have, I think it's notable to talk about Shi Kyu. That's another card that can be added to the runner's score area and trigger things like stock buyback and Philodic Entanglement. It also helps you recover from when the runner scores some of your 2 and 3 point agendas. So I've also found that a lot of the time, even if you only pay 2 or 3 credits for the runners, or when you only pay 2 or 3 credits with Shi Kyu, a lot of the time they'll still take the -1 because they've got something in their hand that they don't want to get rid of. So you don't even have to pay like a full 5 or 6 credits every time to force the -1. It also punishes people from archives, so things like Awumakua, where they're going to be running archives anyway, or Alice. This deck is great against Alice because you can feed Alice stuff like Shi Kyu and Kusanagi from her Alice trigger, and she will not like it. And in the case of a runner that's going to be running archives repeatedly, Shi Kyu is awesome because you only have to pay 1 credit when they access it, and then they'll think, oh man, I'm going to have to take a net damage every time that I run archives, or I'll just add this to my score area. So usually it goes along with it. So others Jinteki things, we've got Snares doing Snare stuff. We've got Ronin doing Ronin stuff. To help get out the Ronin, we've got Mushin Notion, also helps score out Obakadas. I've seen decks that kind of spam Mushin, and you'll clicks 1 and 2 Mushin out something, and then click 3 you'll advance it, so it's got 4 advancements on it. And that's all you do. You don't protect it with ice, you don't do anything special with it, you just leave it there. And so then the runner's like, well, is this a Junebug or a Ronin or a Feature Perfect or what? And it's just kind of a guessing game at that point. I don't particularly like that, so the play I usually do is Mushin clicks 1 and 2 and then ice up whatever it was that I just Mushined. So that way there is some sort of cost that the runner has to incur in order to be able to even check what that is. Also becomes really hard for them to have enough cards to check it if it's behind like a Kukugo or something that they don't have the breaker for, because a lot of the ice will do 1 or 2 net damage to them, and then if it's a Junebug after that they take another 6, and so it gets tricky fast, and it becomes very hard for them to check the cards that you've Mushined out, which is going to make it easier for you to get the Show of Force and or Ronin kill, which is kind of like your mid-game goal. Something else I don't think I have talked about yet is Pad Factory. Now, if you don't know what Pad Factory does, you are forgiven because no one has ever played this card except for me. But Pad Factory is an alliance card. It doesn't cost any influence if you've got pad campaigns in your deck. And then it lets you advance stuff for free. So it's kind of an economy card, but more importantly, it lets you advance anything. It doesn't even have to be advanceable. So usually people see this and they're like, okay, that's janky, whatever, that's fine. Unless you have the little bit of money that you're going to get from that. And then they'll check something that you advance with Pad Factory and it's a snare. And they're like, wait, what? How is snare advanceable? At which point they will immediately go and trash the Pad Factory. It's a really good tool for putting people on tilt, makes people uncomfortable. And I've been enjoying that a whole lot. Plus, you put in pad campaigns to get the alliance for it. It's a fine economy card. I originally had in Mental Health Clinic, and that was fine, but it does boost the runner's hand size, which makes it a little bit easier for them to score out the Obakata. So I do think Pad is a little bit better just as a current choice for Jinteki deck building. Anyway, because you probably got Obakata in there. Otherwise, the ice is all pretty straightforward. You've got 2 Kukugo, 2 Aiki, 2 DNA Tracker. DNA Tracker is obviously real strong. We've got 2 Miraju as well, because it's great for controlling the cards that are in HQ in a post-Jackson world. If you combine this with dedicated neural net, then HQ becomes very well defended and you didn't put that much effort into it. It's also good for breaking up indexing runs, so sometimes you'll put it on R&D if you think that they might be running indexing. There's Chrysalis in here, which triggers when the runner accesses it, so that's pretty cool. And then I had a bunch of influence left over, so I threw in a Brainstorm. It's like a super Koma Inu. It's a lot better now that Parasite's out of the meta. It's 4 influence, so, you know, that's a big chunk of influence, but I had it laying around. Wasn't using it anyway. So if they do faceplant the Brainstorm, it's kind of a win condition, even if they only had like 3 or 4 cards in their grip. It doesn't even have to get close to flatlining them, because that much brain damage means that you can't steal agendas very well. If I ever score out a show of force, they're basically dead. You know, it's kind of a win condition that's masquerading as an ice. And it's also notable that if you have a Kusanagi token when you score out a Brainstorm, then that will be a flatline. So that's a nice combo too. Yeah, so this is a really interesting deck. I'm going to post up a couple videos here in this playlist, so stay tuned. And if this looks interesting to you, then yeah, I would definitely encourage you to give it a shot, because it's a pretty neat deck with an alternative strategy, and I think it's a lot of fun because it gives you lots of tools that you can use to kind of exploit your opponent based on how you've read them. Maybe your opponent is scared of your advanced cards, but they're not scared of your face downs. So that means that you're not going to never advance your agendas. It means that you're going to use Pad Campaign to advance, or Pad Factory to advance out cards, and that way they won't check the cards that you've advanced. Meanwhile, you can just throw out like Shi Kyus and stuff, and they will check those. The inverse is also true. If they're the kind of person who will prevent you from getting the Ronins by checking your advanced stuff, then you're going to throw out a snare and then double advance that, and they'll end up hitting the snare quite surprisingly, and maybe on last click, which then they're tagged, you trash their stuff, and it's great. So yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of alternative cards. Definitely check it out and let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in to Streaming from Shiloh, and stay tuned so you can watch some of this deck in action.